Hi everyone, just before this episode starts, I'd like to remind you that me and Christina do talk about the 6 drive-in performances and the tour throughout the chat. However, it's still not going ahead. When it was pre-recorded, the tour was still taking place, and unfortunately since then it was announced that they had to try to cancel the drive-in tour. So please see the Six the Musical official pages for more information on that. But I just thought I'd remind you guys that it's not going ahead, and we're very sorry that it does take place in the discussion of our chat. Thanks for understanding this, guys. Hope you enjoy the episode. Hi, and welcome to West End Talks. This is episode 2 of series 2, and today we have the amazing Christina Modestou with us. You'll know her from Six the Musical, We Will Rock You, Shrek the Musical, Little Shop of Horrors, and many, many more. So without further ado, let's welcome in Christina.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Robbie. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not so bad, no. All the better for speaking.
Good. Likewise. Also love the merch you've got on.
You know, I had to, really. It was a
I don't own a single piece of merch. Not a single piece of Six merch. It didn't exist when we did it. I have the album. That's it.
Yeah, you can't not have that.
No, I know, that's true.
You being on it, you know?
Yeah. Just that little detail.
At the very beginning, we have 2 questions from us that we ask everyone who comes in. The first is, what got you into performing?
Oh, okay. I think I was just a really annoying child. My parents used to run a hairdressers, and I used to make the customers tell me stories. They used to teach me songs, and I think they were probably like, you know, we come to the hairdressers to relax, not to kind of look after this crazy little one. So one of the customers actually suggested that my dad take me to classes. So that's kind of how I got started. And I went with a friend. I think together we tried gymnastics and drama, and she took more to the gymnastics. I was terrible. And I took more to the drama. And since then I just haven't looked back. So I can't ever remember a point in my life where I didn't do it, because I started it so young. My mum found like an old videotape, like a cassette videotape.
Big square.
Yeah, but like as in like the old videotapes, but that you used to have to put inside a videotape to then put into the, I can't even think of what they're called now, like an adapter. And I think I was about 6 in my pajamas, wearing like heels, with like a baby in my hand and a microphone, singing like some crazy kid. So
there you go.
Yeah.
That is the story.
Mad.
And the second question we ask is, what was your first performance? Take that however you want.
Okay, I count my first performance as there was I think my very first performance that I remember, I must have been about 4 or 5. And my local Amdram that I was part of did The Little Mermaid. I mean, I don't know, there wasn't a musical of that then, so I think they just made it up, and I played an oyster, and I think we had to do the go to sleep, the angels, that one. So I think we had to sing that. So I think that's my first ever that was my debut. But then on my own, I did, I think it wasn't long after that, my mum dressed me up in a Pocahontas outfit, and I entered a competition and sang Colours of the Wind.
There's not any video footage out there of that. That is something the world needs.
I know. No, I don't. Maybe there's a videotape of it somewhere.
And so,
full outfit.
First professional performance then? First professional.
So I used to go up to things when I was a kid. I think my very first professional, not on stage, but my first ever thing, I did an advert for, I think my first one was it was to be released in Saudi Arabia, and it was for rice.
All right.
There you go. So that was my first ever professional gig, I think.
I was going to go out and hunt for that now.
I know. If they find it, let me know, because I'd love to see it.
You know, right. So now we are going to enter the realm of the fans' questions. We hold no responsibility
Ooh.
over these.
Oh God, okay.
So,
Bring them on.
we're going to head off to a show that happened.
Boop, boop, boop.
We Will Rock You. And was
Aw.
that, Glenn has asked, this was your debut, was it not? Yeah.
This after leaving my training, yeah.
The debut was in We Will Rock You on West End. What was the best thing about being in that show?
Oh God, the music, rocking out every night. But my favorite thing was going on for Killer Queen, like being on that table and it used to swing out over the audience. So you were on top of the stalls singing. My favorite song in it is Play the Game. It's my ultimate favorite. I didn't really know that song before I did the show. So like I didn't know it as a Queen song. And I was like, what is this song? And I used to love it. And the costume, you know what I mean? Like the leather and the yeah. The wig. If there's one thing I wish I could have kept from that show, it was my Killer Queen wig.
There is an iconic role from that show than Killer Queen.
She was amazing. Yeah. She was amazing to play. And like actually I was talking about this the other day, but like, it's like so low, like Killer Queen walks around it. It's like it's quite low and it's quite shouty. So it's just quite fun, like really like get your knuckles in, you know.
Wish we got to see you. That would have been good.
Oh, I had a lot to learn. It was very early on in my career. But it was great fun. I loved it.
Jenna's asked, what was your favourite song in We Will Rock You? You covered that there, haven't you?
Yeah, as Killer Queen, Play the Game. But I did used to love No One But You. I used to love being part of that as well. That was
soundtrack is
and it's just such a moment. Like it's such a moment in the show. And we actually had 2 meets because we started off with Amanda Coates, the wonderful Amanda Coates, and ended up with the amazing Rachel John. So 2 very different but beautiful versions of that song. And it just always felt like a moment, you know, just like, yeah.
We're moving swiftly through these. We've got
you go see
We Will Rock You question.
Yeah.
Paul has asked, did you ever meet Queen, the band? Oh, when in the show, not the Queen.
The Queen. So Brian May and Roger Taylor were very much part of it. They were on the panel for the final. So we had to audition in front. I'll never forget that actually. We'd done all the rounds and it was my final. And so when you audition for a musical, you go in, you do your singing round, you like usually take your own song. They tell you whether they want to call you back, whether they want to give you some material, what part they want you to come back in for. Once they send you the material, you come in, you do that. Then if they like you, they'll say, right, come back in for a dance call. You come in, you do the dance call. Then they get you back in for a material round again, just to clean anything up if they still like you. And then you might do another dance round, but then you sort of do your final. And I just remember the guy that was casting it at the time, it's not the same casting director now, but he said to me, don't panic when you walk in there. There is a lot of people. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just didn't think about it. It was like, yeah, I didn't even think about it. I hadn't long graduated. So it was quite a new experience for me. And I walked in the room and the table went from one side of the room to the other, plus the pianist. And I walked in and the first 3 faces I saw were Brian May, Roger Taylor and Ben Elton. And I was like, what? Like
together.
Yeah, I almost had an accident. Like I was very close. But then I remember it was like opening night, and I remember coming down the stairs from my dressing room or going up the stairs, I can't remember which way around it was, and Brian May was coming the opposite way. And I saw him first, obviously, because he's this wonderful hair, and he usually wears like socks and sandals as well, which is wonderful. And I remember thinking, do I say hello? Do I say like, does he even know who I am? He might not even know I'm in the cast. I haven't even opened yet. And as we walked past, he went, "Hi, Christina, how are you?" And I was like, he knows my name. And I was like, yeah, clinical. Yeah, I'm really good, Brian. How are you? Brian. I was like, I'm really good, Brian May. Do I use your full name? I'm not sure. You're a god and I love you. And But we also had the amazing fortune of like a couple of times a year, depending on sometimes on the anniversary, or if there was like an event, they would come and actually play. So in Bohemian Rhapsody, Brian would come through the floor
No.
on the guitar solo, yeah, and Roger would be there with the drums as well. So they were very much involved. It was pretty cool. Even Ben came in as well, like halfway through the year, I think, to just check the script was still working, and we had a rehearsal with him on stage. So they were very much like always involved with it, which was really, really lovely. And whenever Brian and Roger came in, they used to buy us all pizza, Domino's. So in between shows, we used to all go and have pizza front of house, which was just so, it was like a family, that building. Like, it was like, I really miss that it's not there anymore, because even after I finished in the cast, I used to go back and I used to, in between jobs, I used to go and work there. I used to go dress backstage, and just the people, like, I miss it so much, because every department were just a joy. Like, they were a joy. I've still kept some of my really close friends from that show.
It's always good to make friends. Got like a big family like that, it just makes you not want to leave.
I know. It was hard to leave. It was hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, before we get too upset, let's move along.
Let's move on.
In the Heights.
My favourite.
Jessica's asked, why do you think In the Heights is still such a loved musical?
Most loved musical.
Well, much loved, but most loved.
Most loved. Oh, I mean, I could speak about In the Heights till I turn blue. I won't, but I just the music, and I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda is so clever anyway. Like, but you can see where his influences come from. You know, they come from like his culture, shows like Rent, like that kind of. His pieces are very much ensemble pieces. They're about a community. They're about lots of people. There's, you know, even Hamilton, you know, it's not just him on stage the whole time. He's, you know, it's all about the people that surround him, and it's the same within the Heights. And it's about a community of people, and the show has so much heart in the story, in the music, in the creation of it. You know, I would have loved to be in the room where it happened originally. Sorry, stagey, everybody, stagey. Because I bet you creating that show was just a joy, and it was over here. Like, we had just the most incredible time, and I'm just gutted it was like short-lived, because I didn't stay with it when it went into King's Cross. I was already on another job, so I only did the Southwark version, and it was just still one of the most special shows. And what I loved about our version, I've never seen it I can't imagine it in a proscenium arch theatre, but our version was so immersive. Like, you really felt like the audience were a part of your community, and there was something really, really special about that. But yeah, just, I mean, you just put the album on and there's something in it for everyone, isn't there? That it breaks your heart, it gets you like going, it makes you dream, it makes you hope. It just completely is just a roller coaster of just everything relatable to real life.
No, it's amazing. I absolutely.
Yeah. And the drums, I think that's my favorite thing about it. The percussion, the drummer used to come out so, I mean, he was put in the corner of the set as well, which probably didn't help. Like, you had to like climb over everyone else's instruments to like get to his drums, but he would be drenched like afterwards, and the percussionist, because it's hard. It's really, really hard music, but so clever. Yeah, hopefully maybe when the film comes out and the pandemic is over, maybe they'll bring it back. That would be amazing. I feel like I'm too old to play that role now.
No.
Do you think I could pass for being at uni?
Yeah.
Oh, right, I'll take that, Robbie. I'm going to put it on my CV.
West End Talks approved.
Yeah.
Annabelle asked, did Lin-Manuel Miranda see your production?
He was writing Hamilton at the time. So he didn't, but his parents saw it. And then after we closed, he came over and we met him in a bar and we had a big chat, and it was lovely. Him and his wife, it was just really, really lovely. And we got to meet them and we discussed like the show, and we started talking about Hamilton to him because it hadn't come out yet. They were in workshops for it, I think, if I remember rightly at the time. So yeah, we did get to, which was quite cool actually. We just sat across the table from him. That was quite fun.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Mad. And Felix has asked, what was your favourite part of the show?
Of In the Heights. Oh God, I can't. I loved it all. I think I used to, all the stuff I was in. So my track kind of moved the story along. But I used to love watching what everyone else brought to it. But my favorite part of the show, I used to love Breathe. I used to love When You're Home. And I think Alabanza, like there was just this moment where I just used to grab Sam Mackay, who played Usnavi. I used to just grab him really tight, and and at the end of that, and that was always a really lovely moment. After I cracked in his face, because he used to cry every night and it used to break my heart, and I used to be like, Alabanza. I'll be like, oh God, this is awfully emotional. But you know what? The more I say bits that I love, the more I could name you the whole show. I think you're better asking me what didn't I like about that show, and the answer is nothing. I loved everything. everything about it. I think it was one of those ones, it was really special, where everything just comes together at the right time, the right place. It was a real moment for everyone involved, and I think that's what made it really, really special.
I think the world needs it now. I think we should bring it back.
I think we should. Who do we write to? Lynn.
Lynn.
I mean, I've only met you in a bar once, but what do you reckon?
So
we're best mates now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, after we've had the joy of that, we're gonna head over to a certain green.
I'm loving these backgrounds. I feel left out. I feel like I should be there with you.
That doesn't have a background.
You should have sent me the slideshow.
So Lola's asked, what was your favourite song in Shrek?
Oh, Dragon, hands down. There is no other song. It makes me so sad that it's not even on the album. I feel like I want to ring them and just be like, can I do the album version, please? That doesn't exist.
Can I be the album version?
Can I just be the album version? Forever is just,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's the one.
That is the one.
Yeah, ultimate.
Liam has asked the hardest thing about touring with Shrek.
Oh, hardest thing about touring with Shrek. I wouldn't say there's anything hard about touring. I think the hardest thing about Shrek is it's quite intense in terms of the costumes. Like the first year I did it, I was Mama Bear, and then the second year I did it, I was Dragon. So I experienced like two ends of the costume spectrum, because Mama Bear was literally like fat suit, a cat suit of fur, a carpet dress, gloves, furry feet, a nose that covers pretty much your whole face, a wig with ears that comes all the way down. So the only part of your skin that's exposed as Mama Bear is literally from there up and here. That's it. That's the only bit of your skin you can see. Yeah. So I think the hardest thing about Shrek was getting the balance of the air conditioning right. Because some characters, and I then had the dragon track. When I played Dragon, I was the fairy godmother, which is like the complete opposite. You're hardly wearing anything. You've got like a little corseted dress on, and that's it. And you're pretty much bare everywhere else. So it's balancing the. I think that's the thing. And in the summer, so when you're touring, and then in the summer wearing the bear, and then in the winter wearing the fairy godmother, it's like two opposite ends of the spectrum. So I think the hardest thing about Shrek is the air conditioning. And especially for Shrek, because he's got silicone stuck to his whole. I mean, in between shows he couldn't take it off because there wasn't enough time to put it back on. So Shrek is not allowed to leave the building between shows. So in the summer that can be quite hard. I think there is always challenges with touring, but you do become a real family. The cast are your family because you haven't got a home to go back to. You live, breathe, eat, sleep, travel together. So it's obviously everyone stays in different digs, but ultimately even your socializing is with your cast. So it's really important to sort of, it can be really hard if people don't get on, or if any drama happens, or so yeah. Huh?
We don't want that, not on Shrek.
We don't want that, not on Shrek. No, it's all bells and whistles. But yes, I'd say that's probably, I think it might be best to ask a kind of crew member how hard it is to tour that show, because I'd imagine to move that set around and rebuild that set and break down that set is a bit of an art in itself. Well, I always think that though with I don't think crew and ASMs get enough credit for what they do, because honestly, like you would leave a theatre on a Sunday afternoon, and then a Tuesday, it would be all up and ready. That means no day off for them, really, which is crazy. Yeah, mad, But yeah.
The next question is from Amelia, and she has said, starting your career, did you ever think you'd be on stage as a bear?
No. I always say this though, I always get bonkers jobs. I always find myself going, how did I end up here? And I absolutely love it. Like, yeah, I love it. Why not, innit? Why not?
Apart from the heat, why not?
Why not? Apart from the heat, why not? There were times, huh?
You need some fans in your costume.
Fans, I know, like inbuilt. There were times because basically that show was it wasn't too hard for me until the very last number, because Believer, I'm a then I saw her face, now I'm a believer, is the very end of the show, and it's pure cardio in the bear outfit, pure cardio for 6 minutes after a fairly, like, it's not the easiest show. You do keep moving, but it's not like, it's very characterful, but I wouldn't say it was like a hard show. Not for me, because I didn't do many of like the big numbers. I think for some people it was a hard show, but for me it was quite chilled. Like you do like the kind of little bits of featured ensemble, and then you kind of nip off, but the last 6 minutes are just pure cardio in a bear outfit. And in the heat of summer, I think I crawled off that stage. As soon as that curtain went down, you're like, bye, everybody, bye. And I'd be like, like crawling off, just like absolutely dripping. And I'm also the type of person that as soon as I feel myself flagging, I instantly work harder than I need to. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be like, oh God, I really don't feel good. I need to work even harder then. Like, so sometimes I used to kind of kill myself a little bit, but yeah.
Did you ever get carried off the stage there after that?
I think I got like ushered off. Like, come on, Christina, we need to take down the cake now. You need to get going. I'd be like, okay, I'm going.
Stage now.
Yeah.
3 hours. Come on.
Yeah. Just dead bear. Dead bear.
I love Shrek. Shrek is great, but
yeah,
all good things must come to an end, and to move on.
Oh, this is another one that I love. Little Sharp.
Oh,
Can we do it again, please?
You got so many jobs that you just need to go back to now.
I know. With my Renee as well. I did 6 with. I know, you're covering Renee.
I'm sorry.
She's there in spirit. Look at her.
Just move here. Bethany has asked the question, which I think is quite fitting now. How does performing outside differ to indoors?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Who did you say asked it? Bethany. Mm-hmm. Good question, Bethany. You know what? I didn't realize how much of a difference. Like, I have never ever gone to work thinking, what's the weather going to be like today, and how much that really does impact your show. And not always for bad reason, because sometimes when there's rain, we used to have shows, especially Little Shop of Horrors, if it rained, it was quite cool. Like, it was quite like we were almost in like a little horror musical. The only tricky thing was us three, we didn't leave the stage, so we had to blister through no matter what. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, and I remember sitting in like wet puddles, like, after the stage had been wiped up and it being a bit slippery. I mean, that's the only time they stop, really, when it becomes a danger, and if it looks like the audience are starting to get uncomfortable, then they kind of stop. But only health and safety. Other than that,
Yeah.
you just batter on through. But actually, it wasn't even just the rain. It's also like wasps.
Oh,
I just remember this one day, yeah, being in like somewhere that's green, and Jemima Rupert's doing just a wonderful job up on the ladder at the top of that house, just looking out, and the trees are rustling. It's magical. Like, you can see the moon. It's magical. And then, and you're not supposed to move. You're supposed to freeze. And you're like, and you're like, I'm gonna get stung. I'm gonna get stung. And your natural like instincts kind of kick in. But in terms of that, like, you can't write how incredible sometimes some moments are, just purely because the weather is a whole character in itself then in the
yeah.
show, and you can kind of use it as well, which is great. I'm sure Seymour sings something about rain at some point, and I remember it was raining, and there was something. Oh, he said something about sunshine, and it was obviously battering down, so it then made it funny. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can sometimes be really like useful because the audience are kind of in on the joke,
Yeah.
But just, yeah, the trees rustling, and I mean, Regent's Park is probably hands down one of my favorite theatres, and it's always been a dream of mine to perform there. I've seen so many things there, and I've always been like, I have to work there at some point, and I would love to go back again.
Go back to Little Shop. Just bring everything
I know. You tell them to bring it again.
back
That
to
would be
everything.
great.
I almost had
Yeah.
a little wasp moment there. A wasp came in. He heard us.
Maybe it's the same one. He heard us. He
Yeah.
was like, me, I'm the problem with open air
It's
theatre.
me.
It's me. It's my moment.
Yeah, he had a bit of an alpha brain defying gravity there, and just
Yeah, I did. It's me. Okay, sorry. Moments
Joseph
gone, Christina.
was on the phone. This wasp.
Ah.
Oh, okay. Joseph has asked, what was it like being a cult classic like Little Shop?
Yeah, I did Little Shop with like my Dram when I was younger. So I loved it then, and the minute I found out the Regent's Park were doing it, I literally couldn't call my agent quick enough. I was like, please, can you get me in? And they also let me do something really different with it. I wanted to be one of those three. Loads of people are like, oh, I want to be Audrey, but I didn't. I knew I wanted to be one of those three girls, and I knew I only had a couple of years left in me to play young. So it's like, I have to somehow get this. And I remember thinking, how would I do this? Because I tried it in the Southern American accent. It didn't quite suit me. And I thought, I'm not going to get this role. So I was like, what can I do to what can I bring to it that's different? And that's when I sort of decided to bring a like Latina vibe to the character. And I think that's what I loved about this particular show, because although it's a classic, we kind of took it and we tipped our hat off to the classic, but we also messed with it a little bit. Like, even having Vicky Vox as the plant, and having a drag queen as the plant, meant that we could do some new stuff with it. Like, and even for those characters and for those girls, usually they're the onlookers, but we very much felt very involved. It was almost like we were her kind of minions, even. Like, we knew what was coming and we were totally there with it, and it gave it a new energy. And even the choreography, because usually it's quite Motowny and step diggy, but actually this wasn't. It was quite wacky and voguey, and it had that drag, there it is, yeah, it had that drag ugly element to it, which was just, yeah, so much fun. So challenging though, because you don't leave the stage, and you've got to be switched on all the time. You can't relax.
Hard outside to be switched on like that, because you got all the distractions around you, birds, potentially anything. Like, is that more?
Yeah, I don't know. Like we had such an epic cast that it was a joy to watch them all work. So I got paid to watch them work really as my character, and that was always a joy. And I think the thing about being outside is you have another element that adds to the fact that it's live. So it never gets boring. You never go, oh, just another show. Like it's just not. It's not like that because it's just always different. You never know what you're going to get. Even with the set, like how things are gonna pan out, and it keeps it really, really exciting. But yeah, being part of like that classic and then being able to like bend it out of shape a bit, that was really, really fun.
Put your own spin on it as well, because usually with the classic, they're like, you have to do it like this. Got your own.
Yeah. But I think that's the beauty of Regent's Park is like Evita, like JCS, they'll take Jesus Christ Superstar, sorry. They will into the woods. Yeah, they take it and they do like they're not scared to kind of go, oh, here's like a fun version. More interesting version of something you already know, and it's brave. Like, and I think that's one thing I love about that theatre and about, the way it's run and the things that happen there, because they always feel very brave.
Yeah, they do. Their are always incredible.
Yeah.
Maya has asked, what was your favourite song in Little Shop? Everyone wants to know your favourite songs tonight.
My favourite song. Go Get It. That one. That one. Yeah. Come on. All that stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the opening. You can't beat the opening, can you?
The opening.
It was always amazing doing the finale as well, because we added Mean Green Mother. So that's usually in the film, but that was Vicky Vox's encore, and we all came on in these like alien-like outfits, which was just epic. And we basically had a big drag plant party. We threw like big balls into the audience, and everyone got up, and yeah, it was like a massive party at the end. That was quite awesome.
I was invited to this party.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what is weird about being outside: matinees.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no lights. So you're doing a show with no lights, and you can see everybody who's watching. They're weird. The matinees were always weird. And especially because quite a lot of the lights used to disguise, where we would come from, but actually in the daytime, you could see, yeah. It was like an open rehearsal.
Yeah. That must have been weird without black. Was there any blackouts then that you just didn't have throughout the day?
In the matinee, no such thing.
No, doesn't exist.
Never. No, it doesn't exist. Everything can be seen. Even walking one stage to the other, one side of the stage to the other, you can even see. There's sort of a beauty in that, though, I think. But yeah, and we weren't allowed to chuck the balls in the matinee.
No.
It's generally a slightly older crowd, and if one came from the back, it was never safe. Don't laugh, Robbie.
Oh, that's brilliant. You can't.
Yeah, but yeah, matinees, they're weird. They're very weird.
That's really...
You have to get really used to watching people watching you.
Yeah. You can't usually one. That's
no. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we've got some random questions.
Oh, go on.
Didn't really know where to put them, so they're just here. And then we're getting to the that. But
the big SIX.
But for now,
yeah, go on.
Asked, which do you prefer, plays or musicals?
Musicals, but I also love plays.
I love a good play, but nothing is better than a bit of a boogie.
Yeah, I watched Hamilton the other day. I've seen it a few times because my best mate was in it, so I've seen him play most of the characters that he played in it. And but I watched it and I was just like buzzing. But then equally, the week before, I watched Lungs at the Old Vic, and again, I was absolutely buzzing. So it just, I'm not the type of person who has favorites. So if you say this or this, I find it really hard, because if I'm in the mood for a play, the play will be my favorite thing. If I'm in the mood for a musical, the musical will be my favorite thing. So I sort of don't really have favourites for that reason, because I like so many things. It just depends what I'm in the mood for.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and on the quality of the piece I'm watching. I've been to see some musicals that I thought I could have done something better with my time, and I've been to see plays where I've gone, and then and that's just quality rather than generally not loving the genre. Do you know what I mean?
It's nothing to do with it might be the production. It could be anything.
It could be anything.
Could be
Yeah,
anything.
could be anything.
Carl has asked, were you a Shakespeare fan before you did The Winter's Tale?
Yeah, I've always loved Shakespeare, even at school.
Which is your favourite?
See, look, favourites. My favourite used to be Macbeth,
That's
the Scottish play. Sorry.
That's because it's been drilled into my brain from my GCSE.
Yeah, I think that's probably why as well. Now what's my favourite? Maybe Richard III.
Ooh.
I've never seen Richard III on stage, which I'd really like to watch. So, yeah.
Or you could be in it.
Oh, I could be in it. That would be lovely. Yeah,
There you go.
that'd be lovely. Yeah, I'd love to do more Shakespeare.
You're going to be very busy after this.
If you're hiring me, Robbie, I'll be very busy after this.
Well, yeah, I happen to be putting on a production of In the Heights, Little Shop, and Richard III.
And Richard III.
Yeah, so
all as one show.
it is, yeah. Richard III in the Heights.
Yeah, Richard meets Nina and the
Heights.
three urchins, and we'll see what happens.
Lindsay's asked, did you enjoy working with David Walliams on the premiere of The Boy in the Dress?
Yeah, do you know what? I really did. I really, really did. He's such a lovely man, and he had so much time for the show, and so much time for for the people who came to watch it. So after the show, he really did have time to talk to the families and the kids who were there, and I just think that's really lovely. I don't know if I ever thought that he would ever do that. I thought, oh, he must be very busy and important. But he genuinely was always just so kind and lovely and honest, very honest. We'd chat in the bar, and he would make it very clear like how he felt about things, and I always think that's really lovely. And he was always really supportive. He was there first day of rehearsals, he was there first read through, he was there final run, he was there, like first day in Stratford, he was there. He was very much a part of it, which you don't always expect that on a show, but yeah,
that's so good.
Really lovely man. Yeah, he really was.
Yeah. Now you have the two most controversial questions that you're going to get asked today.
Oh, controversial.
Both of them are from Anna.
Hi, Anna. What are the controversial questions?
Yes. Is Jaffa cake a cake or a biscuit? There's your controversy.
Both.
You can't give an answer.
You can't. No, both. I'm actually a little bit allergic to orange though, so I can't have too many of them. It's all about how you eat a Jaffa cake. I think that's the thing that people should focus on. Like, you nibble around first, like you nibble around it, then you eat the chocolate, then you eat the layer of jelly, then you eat the cake.
Really?
Oh no, Robbie, right, we need some Jaffa cake eating lessons.
Put me in for 3. Go through that. The next controversial one.
Go on.
Down. How do you pronounce this word?
Scone.
Yes.
It's not a scone, it's a scone.
It's not. It is a scone. That's hard.
I love that. I wonder how Anna pronounces it.
Yeah, Anna, please send a message and tell us.
Yeah. Are you a scone or a scone?
I'll be a scone.
Fastest cake in the world.
You are, but
you missed my joke, Robbie. You missed it. You missed my joke.
Did I miss it? What? Sorry, what?
Scone. Fastest cake in the world.
There you go. See.
There you go. See. Thanks for laughing. Thanks for it.
And she's also asked what your favourite thing about musical theatre is.
Favourite. Oh, my favourite thing about it's so important. Like, entertainment art is so important and regardless of people, it always gets like looked down upon or frowned upon. But then people love things like Netflix, or will love to be like, oh, I know this famous person, or I know that famous person, and actually when it comes to the crunch, the support for our industry isn't really there. And it's almost like people hate admitting that they enjoy it, or that it, which is bonkers. And I just think our industry is full of the best people.
It is.
And and yeah, okay, bits of our industry need to change and update, and but art reflects life, and entertainment is always very undervalued. And I just love that. I love that it's my job, and I love that it's full of hope. It breaks your heart. It makes you feel, and I love the acceptance of our industry. And I think that
Yeah, everyone is.
we we're all people who, we have a degree of openness and creativity. We're always changing, we're always evolving, and everyone, I think, wants the best in the end. And I think that's what I love the most about it. Everyone, the connection part of it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's a really hard industry in some ways,
Oh,
and we have a long way to go in some ways. But actually, it's I've been really fortunate. The people that I've worked with have just been absolutely wonderful in all areas, not just actors, like in all areas. And the actors are just the final cogs of
yeah.
something
So
that's
many people
been.
going to a show that aren't appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first workshop for The Boy in the Dress happened like 7 years before we even got in the room to start the actual show. It's a long old process, and people don't really realize it. And I just think, there's power in art. The
There is.
power of telling a story is pretty incredible. Yeah,
We
so
need it now more than ever.
I think so.
We definitely do. That was such a good answer.
Oh, thanks.
It's like, yeah,
Oh.
it's time.
Sex.
Yeah, it's arrived.
There she is.
The one you've been waiting for. There you go.
There it is.
So Lucy has asked you, what was it like to start Six and see how much it's become since?
Yeah, it's bonkers. Like,
Mm.
none of us in that little rehearsal room expected this. Like, we knew it was going to be successful, I think. We knew that after our first performance, because rehearsals were like a roller coaster for that show. We only had 2 weeks to put it on, half a day's tech to get it on the stage, because we did we sort of did the trial run of it, if you like. It was like, it was supposed to be a kind of workshop, but it wasn't. We did do the full show. It didn't have a design yet, and it didn't have a set yet. It didn't have the costumes yet. It was just 6 women on a stage. Like, that was it. That's all we had. 6 women who were tackling this whole musical, which was basically a gig but a musical, which has not really been done before. We've seen elements of it, I think. Jesus Christ Superstar sort of do it like a gig, and Spring Awakening, that has that feel. But this is essentially like a Beyonce concert mixed with a musical, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
it is.
it really is that,
It's
with
like
that audience interaction.
which is why I think it's being allowed to go out and go on the drive-in.
Yeah, 100%.
But
So yeah, it's mad to see it blow up like this. Mad,
that must
but
be,
cool.
and the fact that your voice is just out there forever, associated with the
Yeah,
show. There's no other CDs. It's just you.
I know, it's mad.
It's amazing.
Everyone's ears will be bleeding soon. That'll be the next pandemic. What will be the cause of it? Oh, 23 million streams of Don't Lose Your Head. That'll be the cause of that.
Oops.
Oops, sorry, me. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry.
We're doing
I
well. Yeah, we're
did it. I did
doing
it. I
really
did it.
well. Lily has asked, why did you leave Six?
Oh, I was on Little Shop. Me and Renee got Little Shop, and so we did that. That's why we didn't stay.
There you go.
Yeah, and they hadn't fully announced that it was definitely happening yet. So we'd already said yes to.
Well, we're going for Little Shop. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that at all. It's mad. I often think should I have held off, but I've been really fortunate, like what I've done since, and I wouldn't ever change that. So
You put your stamp on 6, and then you got to do another job that you really wanted to do. So
yeah, it's true. I think either way, it's win-win, isn't it? I feel very lucky, very fortunate.
Your voice is going to constantly be associated with the show.
I told you, yeah.
Because I was like, I've listened to your voice how many times?
Which is so weird though, because that's not normally how I sing. Usually I'm employed to kind of do the big belty numbers, and it's actually a really different style for me. Like a lot of my friends were like, I couldn't tell it was you until like the very, very end. And I was like, that is mental. But it really was so fun finding that character and finding that. I had a conversation with Lucy Moss. She sent me a message saying, why didn't we just let you do it in a Welsh accent? Because at the time I was like, can I not just do it in a Welsh accent? I was like, I think it'd just be so funny. Yeah. And the first week of rehearsal she was Welsh. And then they were like, oh, we don't know. I think maybe we should just go for like kind of Lily Allen vibes. So that's what, I think it's important to put that stamp on it because everyone can relate to that. But I do think it would be hilarious having a Welsh Anne Boleyn.
There's Welsh Arrogant. Lauren Drew's out there doing Arrogant. So I know.
Yeah. I know they're allowed to use their own accents now, whereas I think Renee wanted to do hers Liverpool, but we just kept it all. Yeah, but we kept it quite quite safe, I think, in terms of accents and stuff. But yeah, really fun, really, really fun, and mad that it's gone so crazy around the world. Oh God, the costumes! It kills me now when I look at the costumes now.
Isn't far from her costume. It's just different colours.
No, it's just different colours. I know. Look at it. I know. Look at my green sleeves. I loved that bomber jacket though, to be fair. It had an English rose on the back. She was cool, that bomber jacket. She was really cool. Wow. But yeah, the pleated velour skirt, not so sure. And actually, weirdly, I'd asked if I could have space buns, but Zooks beat me to it. So they were like, no, we just want you to have the bob. We like the bob. And I was like, okay, fine. And then when it came out and I was like, Anne Boleyn's got space buttons, I was like, I definitely want to do. I know, mad.
Jordan has asked, are you still in contact with your cast?
Yeah, we still chat. I think more so Renee than the guys, but yeah, text Nat, yeah, sometimes speak to Zooks, and Genesis, yes, and Amy, yeah. They're lovely. They're such lovely girls. I know. Look, oh, that was day one. We didn't know each other then, which is mad.
Yeah.
I know. We'd only done our audition, which is crazy. Well, we already look like friends, don't we? There, it's crazy. I know. We did have a laugh though. It was funny. I know. There she is. Oh. It's so funny because obviously Boleyn and Arrogant had all the bands.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. We were actually a bit like sisters in rehearsals. We were a bit like that. The dynamic was our relationship was always a bit like siblingy, you know, which is really funny.
I like that.
Yeah.
Evie's asked, have you been to C6 since you left?
I have. I went to see it. I've only seen it once. I'd quite like to go again, actually. I think the first time, when you feel so close to something, the first time you go and see something, it's actually quite hard to distance yourself from it. I mean, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I screamed the whole way through. But, you know, I would quite like to go and see it again now, like, knowing what it is. Like, you know, knowing what it's become. I'd quite like to see it again.
Go to the drive-in.
I know, yeah. Could you imagine? Do you reckon I could get a free ticket? Do you reckon I'd have to pay?
Lucy.
I bet you I wouldn't. I bet you I'd have to pay. I would pay. It's worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah. Maybe I could see if I could get a backstage pass.
You'd have to keep your distance, though.
Yeah, I know. I would. I'd love to see them do their thing. So great. Such a great show.
So did you have you wouldn't have had the roughs then, did you, in Holbein?
No, we didn't have the refs. No.
Without them.
I know, no refs. I used to love doing Holbein though. The choreography was ever so slightly different when we did it because we had a different choreographer. But I still live my best life.
Tell from listening to you guys doing it.
I live my best life. I thought I was the coolest. Definitely not.
You were the coolest.
Thanks, Ronnie.
There you go. See. Billy asks, would you go back into six?
Yeah, I think I would. I'd love to do an OG. I would do an OG 6. Yeah, or like a one-off. Like if they called and were like, we want to get the originals back together, would you do it? 100% would, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Might be a little secret that happens at some random point. They
I
just
know.
the casts out and everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Get them on that.
I know. Yeah. Start signing a petition.
We'll get a petition.
Get
We've
it
got
top of the list.
petitions to start from this. But we will get there.
Yeah, love it. I love it.
Lynn asks if you could play any other queen, who would it be?
Oh, I get asked this quite a lot. I think the queen that I most like, which isn't the answer to your question, is Seymour, as you can tell by my terrible jokes and enthusiasm. Yes. That's probably the queen that I'm most like. But if I was cool enough, I would 100% want to be Cleves. Yeah. But then I also do love Arrogant and Parr, and that means I miss out Howard, I know, but I just think every queen has something different to offer. I actually think Howard has the song. She has the heartbreaking song
I always
where
say
you go,
I would be Howard.
yeah. It's just a hard one, but I think if I was cool enough, I'd 100% want to be like, get down. But I laugh.
You should. We'll do that as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Maybe I should just do a one-woman show.
that is
I'll just call it One.
You should see how far you can get without running out of breath.
Yeah.
Trevor asks, what was your favourite line in the show?
The end of Seymour's song. What did she say? Oh God, I can't remember the line now. It's just after. Actually, I shouldn't. I'm not going to say it because if you haven't seen 6, it will ruin the gag. But there's a Berlin line at the end of Seymour's song, and that was 100% my favourite line to say.
Well, when you all go out to the drive-in, you will know exactly what.
You'll hear it. Yeah.
Your last question from the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie has asked, what is your motivation for performing?
My motivation for performing. What does she mean? As in I love performing, so I perform because I love it. So I guess that's my motivation. I perform to tell a story, and I think that people can get lost sometimes and think that they're above the story. Sometimes, directors or choreographers or actors can think that they're more important than the story is, and I think that's when a job fails. I think it's all about the story, and if you get one person who isn't on board with that, it can really be detrimental to how good the final product is. So I think my thing is I do it for the love of the story, and I always try and take work that I believe in as well. Like the message of The Boy in the Dress, I believe in that message, and I believe my role in it wasn't all that it was essential in some ways, but it wasn't, as challenging a role that as I would normally sort of take on. But the whole message behind the story was just like, I have to be part of this. Same with 6, like the whole message, the whole premise of it, the acceptance that comes with it, the kind of everyone sees a bit of them.
It's a gorgeous show for that sort of thing.
Yeah, that everyone sees a bit of themselves in at least one of those queens, and just being different and being who you are and accepting it and not letting society tell you otherwise. I think it's just really, really important. So the work I do, I'm always really passionate about. Even Shrek has that message, and Rent, like that whole kind of that whole story is so important. Like so I guess what I'm saying is the motivation is the story and the message behind the story, and also just to enjoy it. Like, I think,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that was a really good answer as well.
Yeah.
All
Thanks,
the
Robbie.
answers are coming tonight. You've made it to the quick fire. The not so quick. Where
Oh my God, I'm gonna try and do this quick fire round. I'm ready. Okay, wait, maybe I should roll my sleeves up.
I'll roll mine up for you as well. Let's go.
Okay, come on then.
The first
Oh
question
God,
is
I'm so indecisive.
your favorite musical theatre song all time. Go.
Oh,
It's hard.
it's really hard. Of all time. Oh my God, I don't
I
know.
couldn't believe
The
it.
only song I can think of in my head is Get Out and Stay Out, but that's because I sing it for every musical theatre audition ever. But I
There
do
you
love
go.
that song.
I love that
It's
song.
probably not my favourite ever, but there you go. I'm going to just rest on that. It's first one that goes in
Go
my
for
head.
it. Next one is Dream Role.
One that hasn't been created yet. I'd love to originate a role, something new. Ooh,
Yes.
with a big sing and a meaty act. I would love to do that.
Someone write
So
one.
if anyone's writing one, let me know.
Dream gender bend role.
Oh, Judas.
Yes.
Yeah, easy. That's easy.
Happen. And this is the last quick fire question. Top 5 shows.
Oh my God. Oh no.
In order.
Rent. The last 5 years. I used to love that show. In the Heights, 100%. Top 5 shows. I used to love Spam a lot. I used to love that show. Oh, I saw that like 5 times. And oh God, I sort of want to pick something a bit more heart-wrenching, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Oh gosh, only one more. Come on, Christina. Help me out here. Something.
You amazing things. What have you been in?
I know, but you can't say your favourite shows are just your CV, can you?
Oh, I like Ren. I like
Do you know what? I love The Wedding Singer. I love that soundtrack. I'm just going to put that out there.
There you go.
I feel like I'm going to hang up from this. I'm going to be like, I left out the Sundown. Oh, Sweeney Todd. I love Sweeney Todd.
See, there you go.
See now. That's 6,
There is
sorry.
We have an activity for you.
Oh God, go on.
Have you heard of the Ice Bucket Challenge?
As in, I think I did it in the shower. Yes, I did it one year. Yeah.
Don't worry, we're not asking you to do it.
Okay.
But you used to do it, and then you would nominate somebody to do it. So
right.
West End Talks nomination. So you've been through the pain. So now
Nobody was
someone
the
else. Anyone, theatre, film, backstage, on stage, whatever. You can nominate as many as you want. Obviously, minimum 1.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
So who would I want you to? Okay. One of my favorite directors that I've worked with is Luke Shepherd. So he would be someone. Drew McCorney. He'd be someone that I'd say interview. Jenna Russell. She led a workshop for me. I run a company called The Agony Actor, which is a mentor for actors, a support network for actors. And she taught a workshop for me on Saturday, and she is one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. So Jenna Russell, 100%. David Badella, he's really fun if you ever get the chance to interview him, and he's usually the one doing the interviewing. So he's it. Who else is in my mind? Was that enough? Do you want any more? Who else?
Unless you want to nominate anyone else.
And my best pal, who is so talented, Will Jacobs, who was in Hamilton.
So all that we ask is you go onto Twitter or anything and just say, I've just done my talk with West End Talks, tag us.
Yeah.
Tag them and ask them to try and get in touch with us so we can.
Okay. You can organise a chat. All right then.
You can.
You'll have to remind me who I've said now.
You can relax. There's one thing I want to remind our audience, that as much as we've had a lot of fun tonight, we've had all the laughs and everything, we are doing this for charity. We're trying to raise money for Acting for Others. So anything you have, put a little donation. We have a link down there in the description. So whatever you can give, please do, because Christina's here for free. So I try and raise a bit of money.
If we can raise some money, that will be incredible. It's such an amazing charity. We did some bucket collections for it at, well, actually on most shows that I've been on, and they really, really do help people in need, you know. And some actors, they get told that they can't do their profession anymore, and the help isn't there for them. And you know, they're brilliant. So yeah, if you do have anything spare, I know it's a really hard time at the moment, but if you do, that'd be really much appreciated.
Thank you. So I want to thank you for coming in, Christina. It's been absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for watching, and tune in next time when Graham's back. We have Kirsty McLaren in, so for that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to donate, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
The heights, I flip the lights and start my day. There are fights and endless debts and bills to pay. In the heights, I can survive without cafe. But tonight seems like a million years away. In Washington,
next up to bat, the Rosarios, they run the cap.